In the old days, you were weird if you weight trained. Especially if you looked in the mirror and posed and shaved your legs, you were really strange. And now you're weird if you don't go to the gym and do that, okay? It's changed. And it's grown a lot. The sport of bodybuilding has grown a lot. But still, I think it can grow a lot more. I mean, compared to other sports, it's amazing. It hasn't grown much at all. I mean, granted, the prize money has went up a lot in bodybuilding. But how many million-dollar contracts are there in bodybuilding? I think the business of bodybuilding has grown. The sports nutrition, the clothing companies, the gym business. It's just the bodybuilder, the actual athlete, is still not rewarded, I think, the way that they should be. And that makes me sad. I want to see that eventually grow. But interestingly enough, my career was based upon losing. I lost that one show in 1981. And by losing that show and looking really good, and having a lot of the people in the bodybuilding world say that I should have won or could have won, it launched my career. And I became like the uncrowned guy. And I think it's been better to me financially, and if I would have won, than winning, actually. So I made the best of losing. I wish I would have won that contest, but I didn't. But it certainly has been a great experience for the last 28 years, and I'll be glad to share those experiences with you all in any way. I hope I answered your question. I'm 38 right now. I started competing back in, I was 14 years old when I was on stage for the first time. I'll be 39 in June 26th, so almost 40. Maybe I'll go in the over 40 contest. I've talked to a lot of the guys like Zane and Dickerson, and it'd be fun to have like the senior tour and have all the old timers come back and compete. Maybe even do like a big exhibition, something like that. And I would love to do that. I think what happens, bodybuilding is something that's not just something we do. It's something you live for, and it means a lot to you. It's like food. There's food, there's sex, and there's training and going to the gym. And I think they all go together. And for me, I took some years off where I did not train. I'm training seriously now, and I'm looking forward to maybe doing some. In fact, I've been asked to guest pose next year a little bit, just to go back on stage. So I may get in shape for that. That's my plan anyhow. But you miss it. We have been doing it for a while. We miss it. And I think all the old timers love the spirit and the fun that they have on stage, and that's in the gym too. And the senior tour is a big question mark, but I'll be back on stage next year just a bit. Not every weekend, but just a bit. Looking forward to that very much. This gentleman's talking about 1980 and Arnold's comeback when Arnold won. How do you feel about that? Do you think that Arnold should have won or should not have won? Honestly, I mean, this is why we're having a seminar. Seminars meant, at least my version of a seminar, just be honest.
When I look at Arnold, and I look at all the rest, looking at the rest, I thought, Arnold's not good enough to win.
This gentleman's saying that he didn't think that Arnold was good enough to win that year, and a lot of us felt that way. But yeah, I think one of the things we have to remember about bodybuilding, at least I try to remember about bodybuilding, is it's a matter of opinion who wins. It's like there's no exact criteria or objective data. It's not they're supposed to be, as far as symmetry, muscularity, and all that stuff. But when you really get down to it, it's a matter of opinion who wins the show, who wins and loses. And Arnold certainly had, it's like Muhammad Ali coming back in the ring, or George Foreman. They don't necessarily, George Foreman, of course, didn't win, but it's difficult for that kind of legendary sports figure to get placed second, third, or fourth. And I think a lot of the judges felt that way at that time. He didn't. I thought he looked pretty good that particular year, but I agree with you. He wasn't as polished as he had been in the past, and he certainly he didn't enjoy that win as much as he enjoyed the previous 6 wins. In fact, he quickly forgot about that win. Of course, I can't really say anything bad about Arnold. He certainly has put it together. And he's won the Olympia 6 times. Haney's won it 7 times. He's done extremely well in his particular ventures, and I admire what he's done in his business. But that particular year, yeah, it was a big question mark, and a lot of us were like, "Oh my God, why?" And in '81, Franco winning didn't help. When Franco won, it was like, "Oh my God, here we go again." Franco, no legs, nothing, And that was, again, that worked for me though. So by having Arnold win that show, and having Franco win the next one, I was like, "Oh geez," I became the guy that the guy that should have or could have. And I think that helped me a lot. And I played off that success. I used that to my advantage. But that's bodybuilding. Sometimes you win when you shouldn't have. Sometimes you win when you should. Or you don't win when you should, I mean, you get my drift? You win when you, sometimes you don't win when you should. Sometimes you win when you should have. Makes sense? And that's such an easy sentence and it's so complicated to say. But that's the system, and that's the way it works, especially when you're dealing with a matter of opinion type things. Some people feel that this guy should win, other people feel that that guy should win. And as long as you enjoy the gym and the stage, eventually your number hits. I mean, eventually you're going to win, just in the odds. And when you do win or place high, you capitalize upon that win, which is the way I saw my life in my business, my posing days in the IFBB, if you will. Okay? And I can't complain. The only thing I don't have is the Olympia trophy. I mean, everything that goes along with it. I mean, the mental, the spiritual, everything that goes along with the title, the energy, the excitement, going to Olympia and having a great reception every year at the Olympia and guest posing every weekend for 15 years and making a lot of money and all that stuff. It's been very mentally, spiritually, and financially satisfying. The trophy should represent that. And hopefully it does to those who have them. Okay? And whatever, sometimes those things work that way. Okay. Bodybuilders and what they can do to benefit from more so from the financial awards that are available in the sport. Well, you know, I think one of the problems we have in bodybuilding today is the drug issue. Now, it's not exclusive to bodybuilding, the drug situation. It's entered any sport form, most sport forms today. I know that for a fact. However, bodybuilding being a very visual sport, and the media playing the issue up to a tremendous degree, it's hurt our sport as far as having this dark cloud exist over it. One of the problems I think most contest promoters have, in fact Rafik and I were speaking about this earlier, is that when you're promoting a bodybuilding contest, a lot of large companies, big corporations, don't want to be associated with bodybuilding for that sole reason. It's because of the negative connotation of steroids. Even though other sports are really no different, that's besides the point. Bodybuilding is associated with the steroid issue. And most companies who sponsor, or who could sponsor events, don't want to be associated with that. I think that's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons that endanger the prize money from going up more substantially. I mean, I saw Mr. Olympia Dorian Yates, who was unbelievable, by the way. I saw him get a $100,000 check, which is tremendous for one contest. In my opinion, the losers should get $100,000 and the winners should get $2.5 million and have a series of appearances to go through, like a golfer, like a football player, like any other real athlete in terms of the way the general public views them. And that is not happening yet. That was one of the sole reasons I got involved with the WBF. The WBF was about TV. I mean, the Titan Sports, the WWF, the WBF is essentially a television company. My idea was virtually, basically, that if we could attach major production values to our contests. Imagine the Mr. Olympia with tremendous production values and major TV and pay-per-view hookups. Wow, you know, it'd be unbelievable. And I was attempting to do that. But one of the problems I had with the WBF, again, was the issue, the steroid issue. What happened there is like Weider's like a sleeping giant. The government and the media don't bother Weider. The government and the media don't bother the NFL, okay, football league. But the WWF was a perfect target. They really, heavy way, attacked McMahon and the WBF, the WWF. The WBF was basically dissolved because Vince McMahon, who solely owns the WWF, wanted to save his $1.5 billion empire. And he takes home $1.5 billion a year. Okay, when you make that kind of money and you put this system together, you certainly don't want to have this negative tail on this company, which was bodybuilding, which was the WBF at that time. And I'm sad to say that we had to dissolve our situation because of that. It was a great idea. And I'm not saying we did everything right. We could have adjusted eventually and had the right formula, but we were unable to do that during those 2 years, primarily because of the issue as I explained it. But what can bodybuilders do at this point in time? Obviously, for me, during my career, personal appearances, the seminars were very lucrative. The mail order business that I generated from that, and related endorsements. I think bodybuilders have to realize that they're a product. You know, I am Tom Platz, the product, in terms of being a talent. And basically, I have to sell myself as a product. Not in a funny, weird way, but just, you know about me because I was in the magazines all those years, and still am to a certain degree. And I became a product, essentially. But I think that there's 4 things that I would suggest to any bodybuilder who's considering exploring the financial opportunity available to the sport. You have to be an athlete, obviously. But beyond being an athlete, beyond being this gym person, you have to be an entertainer or a performer. I mean, so many bodybuilders go on stage and they're unbelievable, but they don't come across. And you can have the most muscle in the world. If you can't sell it to an audience, nobody's going to buy it. You've got to be able to give this physique away, give this energy away to an audience with, non-verbal communication, that kind of thing. But getting to it basically in the center of what I'm trying to say is quite simply, you have to be an entertainer as well as a performer and an actor, as well as being a bodybuilder. So 2 things: a bodybuilder, a performer, businessman or woman. You have to be able to put deals together and construct situations which work for you. And 4th is you've got to be a diplomat. You're going from country to country, you're shaking hands, you're representing yourself and the sport. And I really believe that we have to function in those 4 categories. If you want to spend most of your time in the gym and train and eat, and that's it, I wouldn't turn pro. And when you turn pro, the idea is it's a business now, and most businesses want to make money. And as a pro, you have to explore your business in that way. Other things you can do besides that personal training. In California, personal training is unbelievable. Most personal trainers get paid $50 to $100 an hour just to train people. And in fact, most personal trainers train about 10 people a day. They won't make anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a day. Okay? I mean, there is money available through personal training. That's one way of touching mainstream America, or mainstream bodybuilding, I should say, mainstream fitness in any country. I'm not sure what the opportunities here are for personal trainers in England. I can speak primarily about California, which is an unbelievable market. Everybody wants to buy a personal trainer. And everybody wants to buy muscle, especially in California, because everybody wants to get a plastic surgeon and make my body look unbelievable. In fact, most people I know in the gym have calf implants, and they have liposuction, and they think that you can buy muscle. You can just buy a physique. You can get a personal trainer, pay them $100 an hour, and they'll make you a physique. Unfortunately, it takes more than that. And we all realize that because we're from the sport, we're in the sport, we live it, it is us, and we are the sport. But people on the outside look at it in a different way. They look at it like cosmetic surgery. And for that reason, because California has that connotation of the entertainment world, the cosmetic surgery world, personal training is real big. I'm just being honest with you guys, and ladies, hope you don't mind. I'm giving you insight into what happens in California. Beyond that is the mail order business, and related situations around that, coming up with a product, and marketing your product, whether it be anything involved in the strength training or the fitness industry. That's my quick synopsis of what I personally have been through and what I see on a quick glance. But I believe that there's many ways to make it work for you in the sport, and a lot of opportunity does exist in California, but I'm sure it exists here too. And I'd like to speak to you further about that as we go on, maybe during the break or something.